I am Sophie. I'm one of the Nappy Lady online advisors, and I'm here to talk to you about wool, because it's April and we're celebrating all things wool. First thing I want to say is that lots of people, when they hear about wool, think that it's huge effort. Okay, I just want to get the message across that wool is really easy to use. Yes, when you first get it, it's a little bit more effort, I must admit. Mine was sat on the stairs for a few weeks before I started using it. But once you've done your first lanolizing, it's really easy and it lasts for ages, which is a huge benefit. A few things I want to say. Make sure you always lanolise your wraps. I know some brands do say that you don't need to lanolise your wrap. You do, basically. Please be gentle with wool. It is a gentle fabric. Any extreme heat will cause some damage. But a real benefit is that it's really breathable. It's great for any children that, sorry, one of my children's trying to get in. It's really good for anyone who suffers from rashes. And also in the summer, it keeps your child nice and cool. Okay, to show you quite how easy it is to use wool, I'm actually going to wash and lanolise live because it only takes 2 minutes. So, as I was saying, you need to be really gentle with wool. First things first, never expose your wool to any extreme heats or put it on the radiator, put it in direct sunlight, because what will happen is it will basically shock your wool, cause it to felt and shrink. Now, felting in itself isn't a huge problem because felted wool is really waterproof. However, it might not fit your child. I'll give you an example. I made this mistake once before. I have Distana wraps here. In fact, I'll try and show you a bit better. Both size extra large, fit both my children, age 1 and 3. However, as you can see, this one on the front is much smaller because I felted it. The way I did that was that I used to wear gloves to wash and lanolise, couldn't feel the temperature, didn't check it properly, and then it shrank. Luckily it still fits, but this one will not last anywhere near as long. Also, if I show you a bit closer, that one you can't see the sort of lines. There you can see it much better. So please just look after your wool, basically. Okay, so we're going to wash this one. This one's not been done for a few weeks. I would recommend you wash about once a month. Obviously, if your child poos in that, then you will need to wash it straight away. But generally, about once a month. It shouldn't smell. If it does start to smell, all it means is that you need to lanolise it. Okay, wool is naturally antibacterial. So I've got my bowl here. Turn the camera so you can actually see. So here we go. I use, I've got a separate bowl that I use for washing, lanolise my wraps, partly for hygiene. I don't really want to be doing my dishes where I wash my nappies, but also the side of the bowl do get quite sort of tacky, sticky when you lanolise. So just so you don't have that on your washing up bowl. Personally, I prefer to wash mine inside out because I kind of figure that's where the most wee goes, so that's where I want to wash the most. I use an olive soap. These are super cheap. This one cost me £1.69 from Holland & Barrett. Nappy Lady does sell wool shampoo. She's looking at selling olive soaps at some point soon too, but these are super cheap and they help to keep the waterproof properties of your wool. So all you do is sort of, you can't really make a lather, but make your water really soapy so it goes a bit cloudy, basically as if you're washing your hands. I'm not sure if you can see that, but the water is starting to go slightly cloudy. And then get my wrap, pop it in. Now you want to be gentle with it, so literally just giving it a bit of a squeeze, letting the water soak through there. And then get your wool. All you're going to do is rub it all over your wrap. Turn it over. Obviously you might be a bit more thorough, just for the sake of this live. Rubbing it all over my wrap, and then again just giving it a bit of a gentle squeeze through. Now, wool takes about 10 to 20 minutes to actually let the water soak fully through. However, for the sake of this live, I won't make you sit here watching me do that for 20 minutes, so we'll just take it out. All you need to do, give it a gentle squeeze through, and then, like I say, leave it in there 10 to 20 minutes, and then you're done. What you will then do one I prepared earlier, is you'll get another bowl of just clean water, nothing in it at all, no more than 30 degrees. And you can get one of those little thermometers to check, but I don't. I just put my hands in. It feels kind of cool, lukewarmish. Gently squeeze the water out of this wrap. And then pop it in. And all you're going to do is just try and work that soap out, gently squeezing. As you can see, it's so easy. Takes no time whatsoever. Squeeze all the water out. And then, if you're not lanolizing, if you're just washing it, then all you need to do is dry it. If you are lanolizing, then I'll go on to how to do that in just a minute. If you are just washing and you need to dry it, please don't tumble dry wool. All you're going to do is gently squeeze out as much water as you can. Don't wring it or anything like that, because I say wool is quite gentle. You need to be delicate with it. I lay it flat on a towel, as you can see here, and reshape while it's damp, because it does have memory. Pop it in there and just press it dry. And then from there, all you need to do is just let it dry. It takes a day or two. I've got one of those airers over the bath that lay flat, and I literally just lay it on there and leave it, and you're done. Super easy. Okay, however, you will also need to lanolise a wrap, which basically makes it waterproof. You need to do this, realistically, talking about every 6 weeks or so. What I do is I wash it after 3 weeks, and then on my next wash, about 3 weeks later, I wash and lanolise, just to save me doing it twice. Okay, so we're gonna lanolise it. Now, what you will need is your warm soapy water. So I recommend that you use a fresh one, but for the purpose of this live, we're gonna reuse this one. And then you will need some solid lanolin. You can see this one. Nappy Lady does sell it. I believe it's $5.99, and you only use a tiny amount, so it's super cheap. So what you're going to do is get yourself about the size of a pea, tiny amount, and then you need to melt it. Now, some people, I believe, melt it in the microwave. I'd get distracted and forget about it and set something on fire, so I use boiling water. Okay. I would say if you do use too much lanolin, don't worry. All that will happen is your wrap will be a little bit tacky, and just use a little bit less next time. If you do use too much, your child's bum the morning after will be super soft, so not a problem. Okay, so I need to melt my lanolin. All I'm going to do is pour my water in there. Don't need too much, just enough to turn it into a liquid, and then start to stir it. And you can't really see in there, but only takes a couple of seconds and it completely turns into a liquid. Now, the reason you want soapy water for lanolizing is that the soap actually emulsifies the wax, so it sort of sits on top. Perfect. Okay, so that's now completely liquid. I'm just going to pour that in, give it a little stir around. Now, obviously, be careful with your temperature. You just added boiling water to your water that was a lovely temperature before, so just give it another check. Now, that feels absolutely fine to me. If you want to, you can check with a little bath thermometer or whatever. Okay. Now, all you're then going to do, pop your wrap in, give it a gentle squeeze, just letting that soak right through. Turn it over to get your whole wrap. I will say, if you've got more than one wool wrap, I've got two, make sure just use a tiny bit more lanolin, because obviously you're doing twice as much. And then it's really easy, just leave it. The recommendation is 10 minutes to 8 hours. Personally, I've got 2 toddlers, I never have time to go back to it there and then, so I leave it overnight. And then in the morning, all you'll do is just squeeze out all the water, just like we did with washing, and then use your towel, lay it flat, pat it to dry, and leave it flat to dry for a day or two. You don't need to rinse it after you've lanolized it. If you do, then you're just basically going to wash off the lanolin, which is what makes it waterproof. So it's that simple. I hope I made that sound nice and simple for you. I'll just have a look and see if any questions have popped up. One question that we do get asked quite a lot is about fitting of wraps. They are the easiest of all nappy things to fit. You basically just put them on. That's it. You don't need to worry about nick lines or anything like that. As you can see, the leg cuffs here, they just sit on the top of your child's thighs. They don't need to be tight. You can have a loose fitting, which is really nice because if you want to slightly size up, you don't need to worry about it, your child outgrowing. This bit here, this is personal choice. My children, my eldest, who's 3, wears them at night. Likes to have it folded because she doesn't like it going touching her pajamas. My youngest doesn't care, so he has it like that. Okay, so absolutely your choice, but fitting wise, super easy. Just going to have a look. Someone's asking, can you wash it with Weleda baby wash? I have read in places that you can use baby baby shampoo, baby soap, but I wouldn't want to say for definite because I'm not sure. We'll see if we can get back to you on that one. Yes, this video will be available to catch up on later. First time lanolizing, yes, leave it overnight. Now you do need to lanolise 3 times to reach your full absorbency level. Now there's 2 ways of doing that. You can lanolise it straight away, 3 times without drying it in between. That's fine. It might not be as waterproof as soon because what you're doing by lanolizing it straight away is actually the lanolin, it's just sticking on top of the previous lanolin. You're not giving it time to soak in. So what's recommended to do is lanolise it, let it dry, wear it for a few nights, lanolise it again, wear it for a few nights, and then lanolise it for the 3rd time, and then you're good. And then you won't need to lanolise it for maybe another 6 weeks or so. That's entirely up to you. You'll know if it needs lanolizing because if it starts to feel damp in the morning, basically. Any more questions? So if he's a heavy wetter, is that safe to use this system? Will he wake up wet? Okay, so my son is 1, he's potty trained in the day, so actually we only use these at night, but he is a super heavy wetter. He actually uses the, in fact I'll show you now, the baby behinds, which are the most absorbent night nappy that you can get, and he needs that amount of absorbency. He's never leaked from a wool wrap. He has a few times leaked from pull wraps, hence why we use wool. The only time I would say that wool isn't suitable for you would be if your child frequently has explosive poos, or if basically if their poo regularly leaks out of their main nappy onto their wrap, and and you're regularly getting a soiled wrap, wool will become more work for you because obviously you have to hand wash it, and if you have to hand wash it every day, it's a lot more effort. In that case, it's not suitable for you. Otherwise, everyone else is pretty much suitable for. You can wear pretty much any shape fitted nappy under a wool wrap. I would stick to natural fabrics, so cotton, bamboo, hemp. Only reason being, with wool, you do need it to be slightly higher absorbency, just because the wool could start, the wee from your nappy could start to leak into your wool wrap. Okay, so what we would say is if you're in the morning, your child is regularly completely saturated, if you're using wool, just stick an extra booster in, just give them that little bit extra absorbency, which is why microfiber might not be suitable if you're using a wool wrap. Sorry, hope that made sense. Next question. Do you have to use a new wrap? Do you have to wash a new wrap before lanolizing? Can I use coconut soap to wash? Okay, so personally, I would always wash anything for the first time before putting it on my child, whether that be clothes, nappies, wraps, etc. And simple answer being sort of dust, etc. from factories or wherever, I would always wash it first. And because you have to lanolise it before you use it, like I just showed you, it's no extra effort. Just give it a quick wash, 2 minutes, and then lanolise it straight away. So that would be my recommendation. Coconut soap to wash. If it's a natural soap, then I would assume yes, that would be absolutely fine. So sort of our recommendation would be a vegetable soap or olive soap. So I would assume, yeah, that would be fine. Okay, sorry, I've just realised there's loads more questions than I saw initially. Can I use a wool wrap with lots of nighttime boosting outside the nappy? Now, this is an interesting question. It depends basically how tightly fitted your wool wrap is. I mentioned at the start, I've actually felted one of my own wool wraps, and this one's much smaller, so this one is much tighter. So with this one, I can put an extra booster on the outside of the nappy, and it holds it in nice and tight. Whereas my other one, which is currently sat in the lanolizing bucket, that one is much looser, and so it wouldn't stay in very nicely. So it depends on how tightly fitted your wool wrap is. If that's a problem, just pop the booster inside the nappy. Okay. Oh, hi Vicky. I think that is all of the questions. I'll see if we've got any others coming in. One question that we get asked a lot is, will it leak? Now, if you've lanolized it, then no, it shouldn't leak at all. If you are getting leaks, then just lanolize it again. Or if you've only been using a tiny amount of lanolin, use a little bit more. And then you shouldn't be getting any leaks whatsoever. Another question that we get asked quite a lot is, will it shrink? Yes, it probably will shrink a very small amount, but if you look at the wool wraps on the Nappy Lady website, the sizes in there actually allowed for shrinkers in their sizing, so you don't need to take that into account. The only reason it will shrink completely is if you put it in water that's too warm, so over 30 degrees, or if you put it on a radiator or in direct sunlight. Okay, and I don't think there's any more questions. Oh, no, sorry, I just found some. Trying to use... okay, clothing. Thank you, the person asked that question. Clothing over a wool wrap. Personally, my children don't wear anything over their wool because they just wear it for night. They wear a vest, pyjama top, and socks, and that's it. So basically, the wool wrap acts as their trousers. If you're worried that your child would be getting too cold, then what you could do is you could wear loose trousers over the top, but you don't want them to be too tight. You might get some compression leaks. What some people do, if they're a bit more talented than I with knitting, you can actually knit wool longies, so they instead of the legs ending on the thigh, they're just like trousers basically. So that could be an option if you're worried about getting your child getting cold. Some people do wear wool wraps in the day. It's absolutely fine. You can either, with the little girl, just wear a dress and then the wool wrap, or you could use the wool wrap as shorts or trousers instead. Or if you did want to wear clothes over the top, just make sure they are loose fitting, again, because otherwise you might get some leaks. Pyjamas normally over the top. Yeah, like I just said, you could wear pyjamas, but make sure they're nice and loose. But I find my children, they don't need it. They don't need it. The wool keeps them a nice temperature. We've been asked that question a few times now. I hope I've answered it for you. If you did want to wear a vest over the top, someone's just asked about vests over the top of wool. I would probably leave it loose. I wouldn't popper it up. Or if you did really want to popper it up, just make sure it's really, really loose, so that you're not getting any compression on there. And then I think that is it. Thank you, everyone. I hope that was helpful. And unless we get any more questions. No. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye.